Boom! That just happened.
La 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 yeah la 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 la.
Welcome to Nerdside Champs. We are done. We have made it through the wilderness. No more alien Earth to talk about.
Oh, thank goodness.
And that meant that we took this week to barrel through 7 episodes. We just got done watching episode 7, which just dropped just a minute, just at 9:00 of Peacemaker season 2. And I think, I don't know, I was looking forward to finally talking about something that we could at least have some praise for. That we could all just say, you know what, this was pretty good. Now I don't know though. Tim has reservations. This is going, season 2 has went against one of Tim's dogmatic, emphatic things that he just can't cope with. So we will see. We haven't talked much, but now Tim has had a real rush for this to get to this point, because Tim, previous to like last Thursday, had watched none of Peacemaker. He had not even watched season 1.
Yep. I have been binging in every sense of the word, because if you don't know anything, I've got a small house, folks. Okay. Contrary to what you may believe about me, I am not rich like Peacemaker's dad in the other universe. And I do not have a massive mansion. So I have to wait until my kids go to bed before I can watch something like Peacemaker, obviously, because I've got small children. And so I had to try to binge 2-3 episodes a night. And I started last Friday. So, you kind of do the math, and it lets you know that it has been kind of a rush for me. But, here I am. I actually think I kind of prefer it this way, because now I can kind of remember everything that's happened over the last 15 episodes. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, it was a little bit of a rush.
Jason, how was the turn? How was the? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Ask you what you're going to ask.
How was the turnaround from it being the Justice League to the Justice Gang? And because you watched it back to back, right?
I did. So, I watched it back to back.
What were your thoughts on that?
it was one of those things had I not watched season 1 immediately before season 2, I probably would have been like, hey, did I catch that right before, and have to go back and check it. But no, it definitely was one of the things where it was very obviously changed. And I think it was something that was, James Gunn just kind of doing a little James Gunn stuff here and there. That's all. So yeah, I
loved that they just did a recap and re-edited the scene from the last episode that had the Justice, Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot were in the last episode, and now all of a sudden it's Green Lantern and Hot Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, you know what? That's what we're. And I had, having watched season 1 and the trailer for season 2, when he's talking about it's like our world, only better.
Yeah.
The multiverse story I was expecting was that season 1 was in the Snyderverse, and that he was going to find the new DCU. It was going to open that can of worms. And it did not open that can of worms. So before we dump in whole hog though, Jason, you were there with us at the beginning of the Alien Earth fiasco. Did you finish watching that show, or did you stop?
I did. I did. I finished it. I don't know why. I knew I wasn't going to be on last week. Oh
man.
Let me say, I might not get a lot right.
Yeah.
I might not get a lot right, but I got Alien Earth right.
Yes. Yeah. You were like a precog from what Minority Report.
Yeah.
Jason watched 20 minutes of that show, and he came on and he was like, she's gonna have a pet xenomorph, and we're like, wait, what?
Yep. It's like he saw the little pool cue ball that comes down, like Tom Cruise picks up and looks at. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, but God, did it just get worse every second it was on, or you know?
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point.
It was an atrocious abortion of a show. There's just no other way to say it. It was the worst thing I've watched on TV since The Acolyte, and that's saying something. I'm not going to say it's worse than The Acolyte because The Acolyte had way more deficiencies in what they actually spent their money on and actors that couldn't act and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the story and the world destroying that it did, it is right on the same level as The Acolyte. So, it's the worst TV show I've watched since The Acolyte. Disney is not doing great right now.
No, they're not.
Let's go to happier pastures. Let's get
back
to Warner Brothers. Yeah. DC just seems to have, like, I don't know. The Warner Brothers is having fun over here. You know, they're going to get bought by Paramount. There's no money getting made. They're deeply in debt. They're just like, screw it. We're going to have fun over here, guys. And that's what they're doing. So
this is
what's that? Go ahead.
This is like such a jump from Superman to this, though. Oh my gosh! Like,
it couldn't be.
Like, it was like Superman ended with like punk rock is kindness, and the first episode there's just naked dudes everywhere.
Yeah. Just hanging brain. Just
I have a feeling.
Orgy.
I have a feeling we're going to talk about that scene. But let's just keep going.
Not in detail.
So Thug Dog says season 1 intro is greater than season 2 intro. I will say, at first I was like a little underwhelmed, but like the season 2 intro is grown on me as I've watched season 2.
It's like
I looked it up in my car and played it on loop today when I was driving. Okay. It was. And that's why when we opened, I was just singing the na la 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 yeah. I mean, I was just it gets stuck in your head, man.
When you first hear it, you're like, "Oh, do you really want to taste it?" Was like that just hit you. Like that was such 80s. That was just like that was hair metal Peacemaker righteousness, and this one kind of hit you. But like I watched the behind the scenes.
I did too.
This band with his little.
He wrote it for his son. He wrote it for his son. You know what? I saw that.
Now I will say, my key takeaway from the behind the scenes of the dance routine is that the choreographer is married to Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
And why is he not in this show? I want Alan Tudyk in the show.
We got time.
They could have strong-armed Dr. Phosphorus in here somewhere, right? I mean, that they could have, right? I mean, they took other other characters from that show, Amanda Waller and Rick Flag, right? I mean, you could have strong-armed Dr. Phosphorus into this show, and it would have been great. But anyway,
I want Alan Tudyk in every show. I think that's going to be my.
He's great. And
from Firefly
and we're gonna
to now,
talk,
man.
Sooner or later, we're going to have a talk about Michael Rooker and how he just always finds a role in a James Gunn project. But we'll get to that eventually. But for sure.
Yeah, but no, go ahead.
My internet is jumpy. I'm sorry. Did you guys think like the Eagle side plot was a lot? Like.
It was
like it was a lot.
Hey man, like you're talking about Michael Rooker and the Crazy Man, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. With the Prime Eagle.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, like he was my spirit animal. I loved that character. He was hilarious. Okay, and one of the reasons is because I'm a huge Michael Rooker fan. I loved him in The Walking Dead. I loved him in Tombstone. I loved him in I loved him in the Suicide Squad. I love him in Guardians. I mean, I'm a huge Michael Rooker fan. I think that he's a great actor. He's done so much great stuff. And then, he just shows up and he's like this. he's like this almost Tommy Chong-esque type eagle hunter. It's just the funniest. It's the funniest thing to me. And it took me a minute to even figure out it was him. It really did. I had to hear him talk before I was just like, that's Michael Rooker. And so it was really funny, man. Like I loved that angle. I love that story. I know a lot of people are probably going to say, like you, that it was a little much. But to me, I mean, this is James Gunn. And this show just doesn't take itself seriously. I mean, this is what to expect. You know?
No, it does not.
Yeah. You know what really sold me on the whole story was the end of it. When he was going through the woods with that comically, cartoonishly big gun, that Yosemite Sam, that Elmer Fudd gun that he was going. I mean, it was like twice as long as he is tall and this big around, and you're going to use that as a rifle to shoot birds. And I'm like, this is a live action cartoon, and I'm so here for it. I mean, after 8 hours of sad children and robot bodies in the dark,
I know, yeah, exactly.
And however many hours of Andor, and Star Wars
walking down hallways,
with his drug-addled, significant other and his moral qualms and just all of the not fun I've been watching on TV. When he's walking through the woods with that Elmer Fudd gun, I'm like, you know what? It's all worth it. It's all worth it. That giant gun just sold. Yeah, because the fact that Eagly was a special eagle, but you know what? The giant gun, the giant gun just got me. So let's discuss the changes made and previously on the DCU and if they were actually necessary. So, I mean, I feel like they were because it moves this from that, and it was like a subtle, small way to do it. What do you guys think?
I kind of feel the same way. I feel like this is a way to take what we did previously, say we're willing to kind of give the wink and the nod and acknowledge that was a good story, but also say it doesn't take that much of a change to make this a DCU project, right? And that I think is kind of what they were going for. It's like, look, if we could just change this one thing, then all of a sudden everybody's happy and nobody has to say that it's inconsistent. And that's what they did. They said, okay, so just forget that. This is the new way that it ended, and that's it. So I think that it was well done. I didn't know what to think about it at first, but I actually think, it kind of fits.
So
that's where I'm at.
I had lots of qualms. Go ahead. I had lots of qualms about the DCU. When we heard out, okay, Suicide Squad is kind of part of it, but maybe not. And then the Peacemaker season 1, and there's going to be 2. And I thought James Gunn was going to screw up this whole rebooted universe. I was afraid of that. But the more I watch it, the more I feel like he is doing this exactly the way you should do an interconnected universe where you can watch all of it and it all feeds into each other. And it's like an added bonus, but you don't have to watch, anything to watch anything else. There's no homework involved. If you wanted to watch the Creature Commandos cartoon, you didn't have to run and see Superman. And if you hadn't seen Peacemaker, you would still understand Superman, and you didn't have to have seen Superman to see this.
Well, like Creature Commandos, right? I mean, Flag makes a reference to it. He says, "Oh, I broke my back. There was something that happened." And that, he doesn't mention Clayface. He doesn't mention the whole thing with the princess that they were, he doesn't mention any of that. He just says, I broke my back. And that was it. Yeah. Right. And you're right, Dan. That makes it so that you don't have to watch Creature Commandos to enjoy this, but it does connect. You know what I mean? And that's, that makes it.
It's like you did it in the comics.
Like the comic universe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys read any of if you read any of the Tom King run in Batman, where, and they've done this in a lot of Batman stories where, like, okay, he's been around for 60 years. And how do you make it all make sense? And was it this version or that version? And the way he did it was just like, you know what? We're just going to lean in, and this all happened. You know, we're not going to worry about how it made sense or what. And it's like there was even one with Catwoman where they were arguing how they first met, and they went through all of the different versions of how they first met. And like, you didn't have to get bogged down in the continuity. You just got to feel nostalgic for every one of those versions. And I feel like that's how James Gunn is handling this cinema universe, which is great. You know?
Yeah.
So let's see. What do we got? James Gunn is a one-trick pony, immature comedy that he hopes hides a predictable and poorly acted storyline. Oh, geez. I don't. This is a Snyder bro.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree.
I
mean,
I gasped
I'll
today.
You get see.
I feel like here's the thing. I feel like that the history of superhero TV is that it cannot take itself too seriously. Right, like that's the history. You go all the way back to Adam West Batman, right? I mean, that was a huge like satirical take on the comic book character. And then you fast forward, we've got Lois and Clark. Definitely did not take itself too seriously. The Saturday morning cartoons we're all familiar with, Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman. None of them took themselves too seriously. I feel like there was always going to be some element of comedy in all of those. That's kind of what you get with TV versus movies, in my opinion, is that you can't have that too much. So I personally like it, especially like Dan said, after we just watched this hideous, awful show for 8 weeks. Oh my goodness, what were we thinking? But yeah, I feel like after watching Alien Earth and seeing a show that takes itself way too seriously, all right, if ever there was a show that should have been satirical and comedy, it's Pet Xenomorphs, right? But it took itself way too seriously, and that's what I really kind of like about this show is, you know, that kind of takes a little bit of the edge off. There can still be stakes, but it doesn't have to be as serious, and I love that. So yeah,
Jason had a comment about
and let's just say it. Yeah, it's silly, it's goofy, but John Cena is acting his ass off. Like there is some really good moments, like that scene where he,
not just him.
Yeah. I mean,
I think the whole cast does a good job. Maybe Adebayo, but yeah, I mean, go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
But yeah, that scene where he's like, where it all hits him, everything that's happened, and he's like, "What's wrong with all of us?" Like that was fantastic. Like,
that was heavy.
And it was right after like 25 minutes of like goofy jokes, and it just punched you in the feels. Like James Gunn does that better than anybody else on planet Earth. Like
because all these people with their self-serious shows with their super serious tone that people say it's more real. And listen, folks, if watching a show with zero humor and all kinds of dreary sadness makes it more real for you, okay, just call a doctor, you know, seek help, find a friend. If your life is that devoid of humor that any hint of a smile makes something seem less real, okay, if that's how terrible your life is, nobody laughs in your presence while you go about your daily life, seek help because it doesn't make things more real. Okay, it just makes them dreary, boring, and sad. Okay, and James Gunn, this is not poorly acted and it's not a bad story. The plots that he comes up with are so much more deep, so much more in-depth and fun and intriguing than these serious shows. Like The Acolyte, that made no sense. Andor, that story tracked, but it wasn't engaging, or, you know, it didn't draw us in. This one, and I'll jump ahead a little bit. This week's episode really pulled the rug out from under me because I thought they were doing a lot of the easy writer tricks where your protagonist does a terrible thing, right? But then they explain it away and make you feel okay about it. And they tried to do this in Alien Earth. So
they did.
Chris, Yeah, Peacemaker kills alternate Peacemaker. Mm-hmm. But they're trying to make you feel okay about that by saying, oh, well, he's from Nazi Earth and he was a bad guy anyway. And everybody in this dimension is garbage. And so we should feel fine about him, killing these people. But then they completely pull the rug out from under you because his dad was not a Nazi. His brother was not a Nazi. And they don't go for the simple storyline. They don't go for the easy, like everybody there is garbage. You should feel fine about whatever they do to all those people there because they're all bad. They explain that, yeah, there's bad things in that world, but not everybody there is a bad person. So you don't get off the hook narratively for the bad things that you did there. You don't get off the hook for killing that guy's brother because maybe that Chris was messed up, but he was cared for by his brother and his father, who are not Nazis. So, I mean, that's more moral complexity than all of your Snyder nonsense with all of your frowning and twisted semis, okay, could ever come up with. Again,
Well, and I got to give props to most of the supporting cast. There's a couple that I can't stand, but for most of the supporting cast, I think that they nailed down the comedy very, very well. I think that Vigilante is one of my favorite characters. He's like a slightly less capable Deadpool kind of thing, is kind of what I get from him, which is really cool and funny. And then there's even Harcourt who doesn't really have a funny part, really acts very well and shows her range here by doing two completely different characters. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, at the first episode, I had to check to even see if it was the same actress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she did such a good job portraying two separate characters. And then and even Economist, I think he is hilarious. He's really funny, very good with the comedy, all that stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of Adebayo is probably the one that I think is the weakest, which is that's my biggest problem with the show, is that they've clearly made her the number 2 person in the show. And I just don't think she's carrying it. But, and it doesn't have anything to do with her being a woman, black, or lesbian. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with the fact that I just don't think she is acting at a level that the rest of the cast is acting at. And so, including John Cena, who is doing much better than I would have anticipated in what have we done now? Probably at least 8-10 hours worth of screen time here. I mean, he's done a great job. So, I feel like he's done a great job. I feel like most of the supporting cast has done a great job. We get some people in here like T-1000 playing his dad, and a couple other things. So I haven't seen T-1000 since Reacher threw him out of a helicopter. Yeah,
so, did throw him out of a helicopter.
That's the last time we saw T-1000. But it's to me, everybody in the show is doing a great job of acting. If it's not your style, I understand it's not your style, but you can't say it's not well done. So,
I mean, I know it's going to shock the world that I really like the fat bearded guy, but I do think John.
You don't dye your beard though, Dan. You don't dye your beard. That's the difference.
I rock the full gray beard with pride. And maybe John will too someday. And then Tim Meadows is a treasure in this show.
Dude,
what's with that
bird blindness?
Here's the thing. When they set up the bird blindness, I was just like, what were the writers thinking? And then as soon as he ran in, he was like, I can't tell how big this thing is. It was perfect. I was like, they set it up perfect. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I attack me.
Tim Meadows.
And even John, who is a goofy character, the bearded guy, his name's John, right?
Yeah,
John. And what's his last name?
Economist.
Economist. Yeah, he has like a moment where he's like, "Yeah, I've just been dealing with anxiety my entire life." And he goes right back to being funny, but like you have that one moment where you're like, everybody is like a real person on this show, even though it's a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
And they all get their moment. They all get their serious moment, you know. And with Economist, it came in season 1 when he was when he was pretending to be the butterfly, and he had to explain why he dyes his beard, and he had to, you know, and it came to the point where he was just like, I just didn't think anybody would notice, and I'm a loser, and all this kind of stuff. And it was just like, and it was like at that point that Chris could actually feel, hey, I'm actually hurting his feelings when I call him Diebeard, you know. So it was a real moment. Everybody gets a real moment in the show, which is something that I think is really cool. So
even Tim Meadows, Tim Meadows gets the point where he thinks the flag is going too far. Yeah. And gives John the look like it's good that you did that when he booked him. Like, you know, even he gets to be serious. Yeah. And then he gets to nail it with the nicknames. Hey, Mexicali, you go around back. You know,
Top hey, in that one.
You go in the front. We got that duck almost killed Titties.
Yeah.
Nicknames are easier.
Yeah.
Where do you think you are, Berkeley?
Yeah.
I love that flag started picking up the nicknames.
Yeah.
Listen to Tim Meadows. Yeah. Tim Meadows talk on the behind the scenes of the dancing thing was hilarious. Yeah. He's like, I'm the worst dancer in the world. I just hope they don't put me on camera that much. You know, it was really funny.
So let's keep going through the comments. Was the Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad always Rick Flag Jr., or they changed it to explain Frank Grillo? I mean, they set it up in Suicide Squad that way, but I don't know. I mean, not Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos. They established it in Creature Commandos, but I don't. Was the Junior like expressly stated in Suicide Squad? I don't know.
I haven't seen the Suicide Squad in like 4 years, so
I need to go back
I don't
and
know.
Watch it.
I'm gonna have to check on that, but I don't know that it wouldn't surprise me if they changed it just to fit because you know they kind of tried to make him look like the Flag from the comics. I think you know the yellow shirt and all that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I'll have to go back and watch it, but. Yeah, I don't know. That would be something else that they changed other than just the Justice Gang stuff. I'll have to check it out, though. I don't remember.
Around the Horn. I think this show, both seasons, is like head and shoulders. Not that I disliked it, but this is way better than the Suicide Squad for me. It's like way better. What about you guys? Like between this show and the Suicide Squad, where do you guys fall?
I need to rewatch Suicide Squad. That might be a next week question.
I don't remember. Here's the thing. I have seen the Suicide Squad. It's been a long time. I don't remember liking it this much. Okay, but I mean. You know, but that's because it was kind of in abandoned continuity. And even though it was James Gunn's thing, we didn't really know how many of those characters were going to carry over. So how much attention did I really pay to all the details? Kind of like what we're talking about right now. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember liking it as much as I like this show, but that doesn't mean that if I didn't watch it now, I wouldn't just think it's amazing. So I don't know. I didn't remember thinking that it was that great. So I don't know.
I mean, spoilers. If you give me Starro in anything, I'm gonna like it. So
true.
I mean, it's
what's the DC character that it's like a plant or something, and it locks you in a fantasy of your like wildest best dreams?
It's like it's a parasite.
Yeah.
I know the episode, like it was in a Justice League episode. It's
because
the man who has everything.
It's
I want to say because I felt Black Rose or something.
The Black Rose or something like and like I felt like maybe they were hinting that this wasn't even an alternate dimension, but Chris was doing that when she was asking. But of course, they figured out that it actually was real when they followed him to it. But when they started saying like, "Are you sure this isn't giving you your wildest dreams?" I was like, you know what, John Soda says knows nothing. Says overall, I feel like the supporting cast does a good job. Who is your favorite side character? Who is your favorite new character for season 2? Oh, that's a tough one. Okay.
So. Oh, no, it's not for me. I got it. It's Tim Meadows. Like that's 1,000% the correct answer.
I gotta go with Michael. I gotta go with Michael Rooker's Crazy Eagle Man. I gotta go with Crazy Eagle Man. Like I'm sorry, man. Like as soon as I saw the character, I knew that I would probably like it, but just even the way he died, it was just the funniest thing in the whole season. So I got to go with Michael Rooker. That's my favorite one. It's my favorite side character. Like I said, probably my least favorite is Adebayo, but my favorite, I do like Vigilante. I think that he's hilarious. So I don't know. Just the storyline in general, I think is funny.
I think James Gunn's wife, I don't know her character's name. She's been really, really interesting this entire show to me. Like,
yes.
I thought
she was in the Suicide Squad, right? Wasn't she?
Yeah, she was at the computer station.
Same character, right?
Yeah, her and John were. They were both there.
Yeah.
So, I would say that my favorite overall might be John. I just enjoy all of his weirdness, and that Tim Meadows is. I was gonna throw out there the cyborg chick that's hitting on Flag, but that was stupid.
Well, and she's got. Honestly, if I had to pick somebody in season 2 that the acting is not landing, it's probably her. But yeah. So.
Well, we know how she got that job. It wasn't.
When John was tied up and he was trying to tell Eagly what to do, did y'all have the thought like, man, it'd be great if Wendy was here? She could just
yeah.
She Eagly would have killed everyone. It would have been all good. Eagly would have built a time machine and went back and made the Allies win World War II. So all season they do classic multiverse tropes and then drop the bomb in episode 6 that this world is a white supremacy universe. Is this getting too political? That's very honest. Slow to me. I don't know. Did you guys find a political bent to it? That did it?
I mean, obviously,
maybe when Judo Master and Adebayo were talking, they said quite a few things. What was it? I forget. Anyway, they said quite a few things that
it's not much different than the world we came
something
from.
Like that. Yeah. Something like that. It's not that much different from our world. It's like, I mean, you literally just had a whole neighborhood chase you. You know what I mean? Like a whole neighborhood of people, like hundreds of people chase you because you are black. I think that's a little different than the world we live in. Okay. But, but anyway, so, but for the most part, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's always kind of a straw man with these. They set this straw man up for us to knock down. They did the same thing in season 1. They kind of, at the very end, they tried to give this really deep, meaningful environmental message. And then he just decided to, kill them all anyway. Yeah. So I feel like this is a straw man. The whole thing was a straw man. And, now the finale is not even going to be focused on the multiverse. The finale now is going to be focused on, maybe them breaking him out, or maybe him breaking himself out, or something like that.
Brother showing up in the last episode.
Something between him and Flag. I don't know. There's all kinds of possibilities there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the brother is coming for him because Harcourt didn't get the shot off.
And the brother, we didn't mention the brother, Roy from The Office. We didn't mention the brother, okay?
He's always trying to beat up characters I like.
That's right, man. We forgot that Roy from The Office is his brother in another universe. So it's like the family is T-1000, John freaking Cena, and Roy from The Office.
So I'm gonna say, like, the Nazi thing, like, I rolled my eyes when I first heard about it because I didn't see that episode, and like I already knew what was coming before the episode got spoiled. But I would say that if you were going to do that storyline, that was an interesting take to have people being like, I don't like this. Like, I just live here. Like, your world probably sucks too. Like, don't get on me about it.
I did think that really helped revive it. And I don't know about you guys. I had seen, I don't know, I'm going to sound like, because we haven't been covering this week to week, but like I saw this coming from about episode 2 or 3. Whenever he got there, it had been very glaring that there were no black people. That it was 100%.
This is modern day Hollywood, folks. Okay, like if there's not, there's a reason, right? I mean,
he was driving down the street. He was at the Argus office. He was stopping those Sons of Liberty. There were no Mexicans. There were no black people. It was white bread everywhere all day. And I'm like, there is something.
I got to give James Gunn credit, though. I got to give James Gunn credit. Disney would have made him put black Nazis in there. They would have made him. And we all know that they would have made him. All right. So.
But
you saying a black man can't be a Nazi?
But the whole Nazi thing set up one of my favorite jokes of the episode. When she first discovers like the Nazi flag. He's like, how was I supposed to know this was a Nazi world? And she was like, the copy of the Mein Kampf copies. And he's like, I don't read books.
The giant mural of Hitler.
I got the Jack read books.
He says, I missed that. He's just been walking by Hitler monument.
Like a big Hitler mural in the middle of the place, man.
And he's like, I probably should have seen that.
And you love it. It's like Peacemaker is stupid, and that kind of just gives you the whole thing. He's not even like sort of stupid. Even the cringy conversation between Judo Master and Adebayo gave you the one like, that's the most people I ever killed in a swimming pool with a telephone wire. It's just like, what's the second most? 4.
Also, another great joke that just I feel like I should be seeing everywhere online. The Cheetos with an H at the end of it. It's hilarious. Like low key.
It's like they don't taste as good. Cheetos with an H.
And Mick Jagger being the lead singer of the Beatles.
So the jokes land, but everything else lands too. And again, I saw the Nazi thing coming because everybody was white, and his dad was an avowed racist. So I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm thinking maybe his dad's still a racist, and this is a whole racist world. But they really yanked the rug out from under me when he wasn't a racist, when he wasn't a Nazi. That really like changed it. So Tim Meadows' bird blindness might be the dumbest and most hilarious thing introduced in the show to date. The bird blindness.
I'm not gonna lie. When they introduced it, I was just like, "What is James Gunn like thinking? Who told him this was a good idea?" And then when he just ran in the eagle was, and I lost it. I lost it. It was so
by
funny.
A duck.
And then he kept calling it a duck. Just the stupid. I mean, just so funny.
Did you guys watch Did you watch the PSA in the extras?
Mm-mm.
The bird blindness PSA.
The bird blindness
PSA. Check it out.
It's like, look to your left, look to your right. Neither of those people probably have bird blindness, but someone does. I love there's like even a hummingbird. He's like super tiny, rings really fast. It gets nectar, and he's like, "Yeah, I know because I read about it."
So do you think we see Corn Sweat?
Oh God, I don't know if Superman could show up in this. I mean, we got Lex.
We did get Lex. And Lex is out now. That's a little disappointing too. Like, we should have waited a couple of projects before we were like, Lex is out.
Well, I mean, they transferred him, but of course he's gonna escape, right?
Yeah, he's out. Thing. Like, I mean,
yeah. He's basically. Let's see. Hey, Josh.
Hey,
how's it going? We're watching Peacemaker. I don't know if you're watching it, but I think we can recommend it above almost everything else we've reviewed.
Yeah, so
in a
much
very
better
long
than
time.
Alien, dude.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, did you guys see the tag at the end of this one? The mid-credit joke.
Yeah,
where they went back to the control center. He's like, "You guys are going to turn around. I'm going to get logged back into Pornhub on here." Lex's guy.
Yeah, Lex's guy was one of my favorite. He was like one of my. He was just like, "So what do I get?" And and Flag was just like, nothing. Okay, you know. And
So yeah. Let's see over. I feel like the sporting. Yeah, should I just go tell Lex his guy didn't come through?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm finding my spot here. Judo master saves Adebayo, and they play Scrabble.
I don't know if you see my little headline here. It says Scrabble champion.
Oh, there it is. Scrabble champion.
Oh, loves Greek food. Oh, the Greek. That was so great. That was so great.
Well,
which is like,
you know, like that just kind of speaks to me about kind of something that has gone completely unnoticed. Why is she here? Okay. What investigator at any level doesn't know standard online prostitution nomenclature for things like that? I just have to know, like, you know, what kind of an investigator are you if you don't know that kind of stuff? And I think the other thing is she doesn't seem to me like any kind of a person that ever would have been considered capable enough to run with these other people, you know. Like, I get it, Economist isn't that capable either, but he at least has a skill, which is his hacking.
He's the tech guy.
He's the tech guy. He's the guy in the chair. He's the guy in the chair, right?
Yeah,
what
as
is
Ned
she?
would say.
What is she? She's nothing, right? She can't keep
not
up
even
with
that
any
funny.
of them. She can't. And her acting. She has once an episode. She has one of those like personal like lectures where she tells somebody, "Hang in there, buddy. You can do it," kind of thing. And it's the worst acting in the entire show. Every episode. So
I think she actually, to be fair to her, she is given the most tropey role. She's the magical Negro, Tim. She is the black person there to give the white people the good advice and the "hey, you can do it" pep talk. And they're supposed to listen. It's the Bagger Vance. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's there to do, to tell Harcourt that she should, that she should accept Chris, to tell Chris to not give up. She's the magical Negro, which is like not a great role. She even had the same kind of talk with Judo Master, and she had the same. It's just like, and it's always this lengthy soliloquy where it's just like, I do feel like they have overestimated how much the audience really likes her. I feel like she's like Judy Winslow, where it's just like, no, everybody really likes Steve and Laura. They're not paying attention to Judy, right? So I feel like we need to like, maybe pull her back and put some of these other characters forward a little bit that people actually are going to like. But then
she's
that
like
conversation
the from Fresh Prince.
The whole situation with her being Waller's daughter, and that's how she got the gig, and Waller thought that she can handle it and all this kind of stuff, and she obviously can't handle it. She's not very capable. I don't understand why putting her in this team of 5 or 6. I mean, you know, Harcourt is essentially like the DC version of like Black Widow or something right now, right? I mean, she's very capable. They've showed she's very capable. We know what Cena can do. I mean, he's built like a house, right? And so I just don't understand what they were thinking, trying to kind of push her as a realistic story. But you know,
her arc in season 1 made a lot more sense. She was the audience
she didn't want to be there.
Character. Yeah,
she didn't want
to be there. And she was the one who was there to be surprised by everything. She was the ground level, your perspective character, like, whoa, this is nuts. You know, that was her.
Yeah.
And where it stopped working is the whole thing of her wanting to be an investigator. It doesn't really track with the character as introduced. Like when she embraces it and decides she wants to go with it, because like she's not good at it. She's not shown that she's good at it. And we don't really understand why she wants to keep doing it. But again, as long as you get conversations like, yeah, I can wear a hat when we meet. You know, yeah, that is based on my silhouette.
Yeah.
That was a funny joke.
Yeah. That was.
What does Greek mean in terms of
investigating
security and investigation? And he's like, I don't know, but in prostitution. He's like, I don't know. That just sounded like a prostitution conversation to me. Oh, that was good.
Good time.
Let's see.
It's a good show, dude. I really have enjoyed it.
I'm not so. The Nazi world is different from ours as we think. Yeah, Jon Snow. That was not a great line.
No, that's
that is the line I think that they felt like they kind of had to shove in there, right? If we're gonna do this Nazi world, we got to really draw this gray area that makes people think, oh, well, maybe that's the world that we live in and we don't really know it. And I'm telling you, they felt like they had to do that, and that's kind of the problem that I had with it. I'm not going to sit here and say that it bothered me a lot or ruined the show or any of that, because it didn't. But it was a little disappointing that they felt like they had to throw that in there, because honestly, the show didn't need it. You know what I mean? No. They didn't need it.
Yeah, they could have even had the whole Nazi thing. They didn't need the whole, parallel, because I feel like they need to put that in there, trying to get a rise out of people. But honestly, the reason I don't see it as a super political angle is because I guess on the left, they have this idea that they're like this white supremacy thing is a thing. You're really going to anger people on the right. Because they are white supremacists and they are racist. Yeah. And it just flies over people's head because there aren't any white supremacists or racists. And they're like, and you're just not even, you're just like, that's bad. They're bad.
I'm sure that David Duke was really upset when he watched the show tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Nobody else. Yeah, he's watching.
Nobody else was really that upset over that line, man. We all were like, well, that's not really true, but let's get back to the show.
So it's that's why it doesn't seem like a really huge political statement to make the bad guys Nazis, because of course bad guys are Nazis have been the stock bad guys since World War II. I don't even know what you did for bad guys before World War II.
What did you do for bad guys back in the day?
Star Wars is just space Nazis, man. That's all it is, right? Star Wars is space Nazis.
Like in 1930, who were the bad guys? Like, you know, in 1910, and you're making an action adventure.
They had to be like, man, the Huns, right? They had to do the Huns. That had to be like, they had to be like, man, those Huns, they must have been terrible. You know, it was
Attila was awful. You had to go way back to get a universal evil. See, the Nazis did feel one thing. We all have a villain to hate now. Vigilante killing the Blue Dragon in the middle of a redemptive arc was perfect. That was just great. And we don't even know which Vigilante.
That's the part I gasped at. I didn't see it coming.
That was almost that was just like what they did in season 1 where the Asian cop, whatever her name was, I forget, but she had been taken over by a butterfly, and she was explaining this utopic universe, and you're not taking care of your world, and we can help you, and blah, and all this stuff. And then he just activated the helmet and killed the cow, and it was the exact same thing. It's like in the middle of this arc that could be interesting and redemptive and all this kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden just completely just knock it over. It's just a straw man. I actually really enjoyed that. They've done it both seasons, enjoyed it both times. And yeah, I mean, once again, I believe wholeheartedly that T-1000 just told James Gunn, I don't want to be in season 3. Just take me out. You know what I mean? Whatever you got to do, take me out.
It's like when they acted like revealing Homelander was a bad guy would make all the right wingers mad. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. They did do that, Josh. They were like, oh, all the right wingers would be so mad when they realized that he's the bad guy. And it's like, man, he was threatening to kill people on an airplane like in the first episode. Like,
it's
It's
a TV show, man. You know what I mean? Like you can't make me that upset politically over a TV show. You just can't. You know,
and the thing is,
no matter how hard you roll my eyes, but
it just does go to show that even though we like the stories that these people tell, that like they have a warped sensibility of, I mean, they're obviously of one side, and I don't want to paint us of being in the complete opposite side because we're not all on the same exact spot on the political spectrum. You know, I'm more of I don't agree with anybody. I'm a libertarian. So, you know, just send your hate mail right to me. Everybody agrees with me about something. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's fun to, like, from this perspective to look at the people on the left and what they think of the people on the right. And it's like, they think they're saying these big things by stories like Homelander and having a Nazi world about the people on the right. And it's like you're so far away from who they really are and what they really believe that you're not even managing to insult them or like trigger them because like they have no resemblance to this. Like, yes, you're nobody's arguing against you when you say racism is bad or Nazis are bad. Nobody's like, oh, but Nazis are great and racism is good. Like, there's nobody on the other side of that argument. I'm on the side of good writing and constructive, consistent storylines. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
It's outside of that one line. This is a good storyline. It's fairly consistent. It does have a good through line. The characters all act in ways that make sense. The only lacking piece of character motivation is how do you say her name?
Adebayo. They just call her Ads. So we'll just call her Ads. How about that? Okay.
Yeah,
so
you shouldn't
Adebayo, I think
such
is it.
Complicated name, but Ads. the only missing piece of character motivation is Ads embracing the idea of becoming an investigator. That's but they just do that to keep her in the show. So all the other character motivations work perfectly. They all make perfect sense. And like, even this season, you got some great backstory on Harcourt and like why she doesn't want to embrace Peacemaker and her animosity towards him. And I thought that was done well, you know?
Yeah.
And so
I have a prediction. I'm ready for another prediction. I have another one.
Oh, yes. We got, What is the prediction?
It might not be this season. Ads' girlfriend is going to be working for Waller.
Oh, no, that I thought that the whole time. I thought that the whole time.
That's going to be a knife turn.
Yeah.
Probably has been the whole time. Can I say one thing? And I understand that Flag would hate Peacemaker. I would hate Peacemaker too if he killed my son, right? But the fact that 100% of his anger and animosity is directed towards Peacemaker, and none of it is reserved for Amanda Waller.
Well, Amanda Waller's coming back in her own show.
But Why can't they hate each other? Like they could both exist in this universe and hate each other deeply.
And it's really funny because once again, Frank Grillo's Rick Flag was in Creature Commandos with Amanda Waller, and honestly, like there was no feel there of any of that kind of animosity. So a missed opportunity for the storyline, and once again, maybe just a little bit of an inconsistency in the continuity there in the handoff. So,
well, I think in Creature Commandos, he was not privy to how it happened yet. Like he didn't have access.
They wouldn't let him read the file, is what he said.
They still had not had. Yeah. He had still not seen the file. So yeah.
But now that he's seen the file, I mean, I get. Like I would hate everyone. I might have like if it was me, I might hate Harcourt because she was involved in the operation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I might want to burn it all down. But I feel like my number one target
would be
for
Waller.
Vengeance and hatred would be the person who gave the order. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't, and maybe they'll run with that. Maybe when Waller comes out, Flag will be an antagonist. I feel like that's an interesting story that we could explore, but I definitely feel like those two should not be on good terms going forward, and they should he should say some bad things about Harcourt's like she gave the like when Harcourt's like, well, Waller gave the order, and he's just like, well, we've ignored her orders before. Okay, but are you just missing that she did that? Are you just forgiving her? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not did Chris have his Man of Steel moment weeping uncontrollably?
I thought that was incredible. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, there are.
I didn't feel it with Henry Cavill. I felt it with John Cena.
I don't know that it was a Man of Steel moment. It may have been. And here's the thing: it was his dad who he thought was a bad person and had just discovered was not a bad person. And you can't really get mad at Vigilante. Now here's the other thing: was it Vigilante or was it Vigilante's?
I think it was Vigilante's doppelganger.
Yeah. See, because that would make a lot of sense then, because he couldn't stand them. He already said it, right? And so I don't know. So yeah.
Well, we'll probably find out next episode which Vigilante did the killing.
Yeah, in the next episode,
next episode is the conclusion.
That's the finale. Yeah.
I did watch the next week on. It looks like Argus is going to try to use the portal to do something. They're opening doors to various worlds.
When the brother's going to get there.
Yeah, they're going to mess around and let him out. That's going to be a thing. And then sacrificing himself for the team sets up for the final and the breakout. Yeah. They're definitely. 100%. Yeah. Now I did read somewhere. Have you guys? I heard. I saw a headline. I didn't read the story, so I don't know. It said something about James Gunn says that there may not be a season 3. Did you guys see that?
I have
no. What I'm starting to wonder is if he's gonna put a roster together, including characters like Peacemaker, back to Suicide Squad, or maybe included in something like a Creature Commandos or an Authority or something like that. I don't know, but I'm wondering if he's going to be doing something like that, because a lot of the characters that he's introducing would kind of make sense for that, right? If we see Booster Gold is going to have a show, it's going to be very similar in tone to this show.
Still my
so so Booster Gold with Peacemaker would be something that would make a lot of sense. There's a lot of other things that may, you get kind of a lot of gritty stuff with the Authority, and so maybe it would be considered maybe a little too serious for Peacemaker, but maybe you could make some of that work. So it just kind of depends. I feel like that's probably what the role is going to be moving forward. I get the feeling that Cena does not really want to continue doing this forever, and this is already going to be doing this role for now 4 years that he's been doing this role, right? So which means he's probably been filming it for 5-6 years. So I think he's probably about done. I mean, the fact that they just announced this week his final wrestling match is going to be in December. So I think he's just about ready to hang it up, man.
I don't think so. I think he's I don't get that from him. Like he's enjoyed this, I think. Like, he likes to put on the costume and stuff, I think. Like that.
I think he does too. I just think he's had his ride with it now. I mean, he's had, 15 episodes of TV, 16 episodes of TV, which is going to be, both of those are really good. And he had the one movie. I feel like he doesn't need anything else, but I do think there could be a place for him in the DCU in some of those other projects.
They keep setting him up to have something with Batman. Like, there's been little things here and there where I'm like, he's gonna meet up with Batman. On that note,
especially because when he was talking to the kids, didn't he like kind of talk Batman down a little bit?
Well, and the old man, he was like, he's Batman doesn't kill his villains.
So but how long does Cena want to stay this jacked? That's the other thing. Like, I mean, he might need to he might want to deflate a little bit soon. Like, one of them linemen you see when they end up in the booth announcing the games, and they were like, it was like this 300-pound dude smacking people around. He's this little guy.
I saw a video. The other, probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, that kind of changed my mind on where Cena was on all this stuff. And Cena is always the guy who has made time for the fans, like always the guy, right? No matter what, it doesn't matter where he's at. Come on in here, little guy, we'll do the thing and we'll take a selfie and, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, I saw a guy that was filming him at a restaurant or something and said, do the thing for me. And he said, hey, man, I'm just kind of out with my friends. You know what I mean? Do you mind just kind of leaving me alone? And I do. I think that Cena he's had his moment of celebrity. And I think that his wrestling career is winding down. He's done everything you can accomplish in wrestling. His acting career has been brief, but it's been very, very good. It started in 2006. He did The Marine, great movie for a wrestler at the time, right? And then he jumped right into the Suicide Squad when that opportunity came up. And I think he took this role and ran with it. He absolutely nailed this character. This is not how I would have imagined Peacemaker. Okay, I wouldn't have imagined Peacemaker like this, but now I can't do it any other way. It's just like a lot of these other actors that have made the character something over time. Robert Downey Jr., for example, and a lot of other characters. So I kind of feel like, now that he's kind of had his defining moment in cinema, he's had his defining moment in wrestling, I think he's kind of just ready to ride off into the sunset and be on a beach somewhere. But that's just the way I feel about it. Just
his comedic timing is fantastic. So I feel like
he's very
years of being a wrestler, man.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And
he's so funny.
And that's not writing, man. A lot of that is off the cuff, very quippy. Like, you can tell the people a lot of these people came from the stand-up comedy world. You can just tell, right? Like, you can tell a lot of them came from the stand-up comedy world because the quippiness of their comedy, how quick they are with the lines that probably were not written lines. They were probably just, all right, this is the general direction, go. And they take probably 7 or 8 takes of the same thing and they redo them over and over again and they take the funniest one. And that's, to me, that's the best kind of comedy. That's something that kind of got implemented in the early 2000s by a lot of really famous comedic actors. But I do feel like he has done a very, very good job with that for a guy that really didn't come from that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Cena, he's been like, I don't know if you guys saw Cock Blockers.
He was hilarious in Cock Blockers.
He was hilarious in that. He was fantastic. I was like, who knew that he was this funny? You know?
Yeah.
So all right. Quick, just speed round. Do you think we see another hero in like a big name? Because we've already seen the Justice Gang and the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a prediction. I think it's going to be Flash. I think we're going to see Grant Gustin's Flash.
That's a good guess. All right. It might not be a bad time to drop Booster Gold. It might not be a bad time to drop Booster Gold either, because we're doing the portal and the multiverse and all that kind of stuff anyway. Which Booster Gold is time travel, which is not that far removed. I feel like, so it could be easily explained. So that might be something to kind of drop and introduce, and they like to space these things out. That'll give you a couple years to figure it out. But I don't know that they're going to do anything big. I don't think we're going to get a Batman. I don't think we're going to get anything like that. So
Flash would be perfect.
Flash is good. The reason I don't think we're going to get Flash is because I think they're a little focused on the Justice Gang stuff right now. So I don't know that they're really going to get into building the Justice League until after Brave and the Bold. So we'll see. But yeah,
I think you could try to set up the next show, and you could have Hal Jordan or John Stewart.
That's true.
That too.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
We do have a Green Lantern Corps show coming with those two.
Yeah.
So
how great would it be if he just if as they're getting ready to close the portal, they just see like one of the Green Lantern guys going out to get his paper or something in the portal, and that would be the very end.
I like that. Yeah.
You see one of the Owens, Owen, is that how you call the guys from Oa, the little blue dudes?
Yeah.
One of those, So, anyway, overall, I know, Tim, you were mad because you got a multiverse story.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think, it's very, very hard for me to sit here and nitpick something that I've enjoyed as much as I have this series. I will tell you that multiversal stories are not my favorite, but I also think that that doesn't mean that I enjoy zero multiverse stories, right? I mean, I love Rick and Morty. I was talking to Dan about this today. I love Rick and Morty. I love the multiverse episode of Family Guy and the multiverse episode of Futurama. Like I love that kind of stuff, right? So I love when it's kind of like this satirical take on it and not like this super serial take. I love when there's a lot of comedy involved in it, and it almost has kind of like a Back to the Future-esque type feel. I like that a lot more than what we've got in like the MCU, where it's super serious about the multiverse, right? That's kind of the difference, I think. So yeah, I'm not a multiverse fan. Everybody knows that, but I can honestly say I've enjoyed this season. I have not enjoyed this season as much as I enjoyed the first season, though. I do think the first season was a little bit better. It was a little bit more of a linear story for me. And I think that it was just better with the character introductions and development and a lot of different things there. But for the most part, I've thoroughly enjoyed the show so far in its entirety. So it's been a good show. So much better than everything else we've watched, Dan. I can't, I would give it a solid like B, and I feel like that is really, really good compared to what we've watched everywhere else. Right. Like, when I say solid B, I'm not talking like 80 or 81. It would be like 85, 86, a solid B. Right. And I feel like that would, considering that we've reviewed Alien Earth, Andor season 2, Daredevil Born Again, all these things that we just did not like, I feel like that's as good as it's going to be right now. And it really does make me look forward to the rest of the DCU and what James Gunn's going to do, because I have enjoyed both shows so far, which is something I haven't been able to say about the MCU in a long time. So there you go.
Jason, where would you put this versus the first season?
Okay, I really like that first season, but I think I like this better. I think John Cena's had better, I think the writing is just overall better, in my opinion. Like, the scenes that have heart have so much more heart. I don't know if this season is as funny as the first season, because I think the first season was hilarious. But overall, I would give this show a B also. But because it follows Alien Earth, I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Yeah,
like it's finally I can sit down and not just be like, oh my god, I gotta watch another one of these.
Yeah,
I watched some of Alien Earth on a treadmill. Do you know how miserable of an experience that is?
It's just double misery.
Like I'm trying to lose weight and be more healthy, and I'm watching like this nihilistic show about like stick kids in a robot body that can talk to xenomorphs. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah. You know, I even left out that we watched 3 whole episodes of Ironheart also.
Oh!
Yeah, we have really.
And we never finished it. We never finished it.
I never.
And I don't. I got it. And Dan, I don't feel bad for a second. Like Dan can tell you, this is the first Marvel project I have not watched to completion. Like I don't just dabble in foreplay, man. I go all the way. Okay.
Yeah.
I go all the way in my MCU. I will sit here and say, I don't care that it feels like glass in my eyes. I will watch this until it's done. And that's what I did with Eternals. That's what I did with Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's what I did with Secret Invasion. It's what I did with She-Hulk. I could not finish the stupid show. I just could not finish it. We watched the 3 episodes, and Dan and I were like, do you want to finish it? No. Do you want to finish it? No. So we didn't even get to see Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto, and honestly, I don't care. Like that's how
they were real late with that Mephisto. Like we should have got him way earlier.
Yeah, we passed that ball back and forth. Like, hey, do you want to have some people on without me?
We both did it. We're like, no, do you want to have some people on without me? Or, it was
maybe we could just give somebody our password and they'll come on without us.
think we luck out, Dan? We lucked out because like Andor started that week and we're like, oh, thank goodness there's something else to watch.
And then it was Andor.
It was Andor, and we didn't like it, but we didn't have to watch that show anymore.
Yeah. So this one I think I'm at a high B. You know what? I might give this an A- because I've suffered so greatly through all of this stuff. And you know what? The first season was funnier, I believe, but this season, the twists and turns, this episode really put this whole season up a notch for me because the whole his dad and brother aren't Nazi scum. Yeah, I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming in a million years. Did I ever see
his brother was chasing her, right? So that's one of the things that made no sense to me. And then he said something to the dad, like, I thought she got out or something.
Well, they got camps, I think. Vigilante said they're in camps working.
It sounded so. Yeah,
sure. He told him he shouldn't have been doing that. The dad was like, "That's not what we do." So that just totally surprised me, and the fact that it was able to surprise me, when the fact that it was a Nazi world did not surprise me. That was not a surprise because from the first moment that they go down the street and there's not, when it's all white people everywhere. Even in a small town, I'm like, oh yeah, no, something's. And I know that his dad, like, where's the world where his dad would be a hero? Oh, a racist world, because
exactly. That's what I thought too. Yeah,
but then when his dad was not a racist in that reality, I'm like, oh wow, now that I did not see coming.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, so that kicks it up, and like we talked about before we first came on, like in the early comments, like. The opening, like, do you want to taste it? Like, hits. It really hits, and that opening dance number really got you going. And this one, the first time you watched it, it was good with Eagly dancing. I really like the part where the eagle tries to dance.
I like that.
That is funny. That is funny.
So So the first time you watched it, you were like, "Well, that was good," but the first one was way better. But as you go through the season, that song really gets stuck in your head.
That song
and you
is
really
so
start to feel these dance moves and the whole, and it's like So I feel like this season has grown. I feel like they're about equal for me right now. I feel like that's where it is. It's like consistent. And I feel like Gunn is delivering a high level, whether it was Creature Commandos, Superman, or this, wildly different in tone, wildly different in target audience, but just a standard of quality and fun that I'm not finding anywhere else in popular culture.
I think that's the you just said the word that I think a lot of people don't equate to superheroes anymore, and that's fun. Yeah, I mean, why did we like Thunderbolts, Dan? We liked Thunderbolts not because it was deep and meaningful and comic accurate. We liked it because it was fun, right? And I feel like
great stuff.
Guardians, right? Every Guardians movie has moments that just leave you just doubled over laughing because it's so funny. So I feel like that's when you can actually have fun in an adventure story. It takes your entertainment to a whole new level. Like, and of all the moments that people think are great in stories like Indiana Jones and James Bond, people really like the funny moments in those stories more than they care to admit. And that's exactly what I think James Gunn has done. He's just taken that and he's kind of maximized it so that the overall experience is just, this is fun to watch. You know what I mean? But I can't let you guys out of here without asking you about this. Okay. Just really quick.
All right.
So what's the best way to describe this? The coitus party at the beginning of the series. So
the orgy. Here's an orgy.
I was wondering if that word would get us canceled on YouTube for some reason, but I felt it unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
And look, man, I know we're on HBO and we're going to push the limit as far as we can, and we're James Gunn, and we were trying to show the very definition of worldly emptiness is that this man is hosting this massive party and not having any fun, right? Like that is like what he was trying to show. I felt like he could have done it a little more pulled back. I don't know about you, but
here's what I'm going to say.
That's just my opinion. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
It was totally unnecessary and exactly why it was awesome. This is how I sold you Game of Thrones, Tim. It's like, if you wanted me to describe the first few seasons of Game of Thrones in one word, here's the word I would use: gratuitous.
Yes, 100%.
The whole show was gratuitous. The nudity was gratuitous. The violence was gratuitous. The gore was gratuitous. It was wall to wall gratuity. And Peacemaker has some of that. Whereas the sex is gratuitous in that, a lot of the violence is gratuitous in this show. Like, it is. Peacemaker, alternate Peacemaker's head bouncing down the floor. That's a little gratuitous.
That was awesome though. It's just it one-ups from the first season when they have the three-way.
Yeah.
Like it's just a one-up.
And Vigilante still had the mask on.
Yeah. It's a one-up.
The Elmer Fudd gun is totally gratuitous. The eagle hunting Elmer Fudd gun that's 9.5 feet long and big around as a softball. It's gratuitous. So you know what? I'm here for it. It's like over the top. You have that where you should be, and you're up here. So you know what?
I could have done without it, but at the same time, I laughed. So
yeah.
Like, you know what makes it work?
In a couple weeks, we're going to be reviewing Twisted Metal. They had a very similar scene this season. Okay. And I'm wondering if they're all just kind of, clearly someone got the note that, this is going to improve viewership, I guess. But to me, as somebody that is just trying to enjoy and watch the story, I actually enjoy Game of Thrones for so much more than what Dan just talked about.
Yeah.
It's not gratuitous violence. It's not all the, dragon boobs or whatever. It's not any of that. Okay. But what really I loved about Game of Thrones was it was a very, very intricate and well thought out story. And that's kind of that's kind of what I got from this as well. This was a very creative, well thought out story of a character that I already was familiar with, but had been never seen done this way. I'd never seen this character done this way. And so now, I don't know that was really a necessary part to further the story for me, but that's just going to be a hard, when you're talking about R-rated content, which this very much is, you're going to get a couple of scenes like that. That's just how it is. Same thing with violence. You're going to see some heads explode. That's just the way that it goes. So,
what makes it work for me.
I try to make it in my head say that's just part of when you have R-rated.
That's kind of what I did.
The best part, the reason it works so well as a comedy is that, like, I would say at least half or more than half of the people running around naked in this orgy are not even attractive. And that's
why it's funny. No. Well, it's just absurd.
That's why it's funny. It's why it's absurd. If this was Hollywood, eyes wide shut, beautiful people orgy, you know what I'm saying?
That's not fun.
That's not fun. That's not funny. That's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? But the fat chick and the little skinny twig chick, and then the fat dude over here, and this weird looking guy, and it's like, that's funny. You know what I'm saying? And none of them care. That to me is funny. Yeah.
I agree. I laugh. So
yeah. See, if you laugh, then that's all that needs to happen. It's not like it was going to be appropriate for a younger audience without that. There's still all the cursing and gratuitous violence.
And the violence. It's a very much an R-rated show, regardless. Same thing with Twisted Metal, right? You could take that scene out of Twisted Metal, and I still would not let my kids watch the show. You know what I mean? But it's just it is one of those things that is in the back of my mind. It was one of those scenes that did seem to go on for quite a while.
It did. It carried on.
Okay. I get the point, guys.
I will say, I have a very large television, right?
Yeah.
And it's in my living room, right? Yeah. And I'm watching this at night. And it doesn't occur to you till afterwards, because you're in your living room and the TV's over here and you got a big window in the front of the house over there. And you're like, after it's over, you're like, were my curtains open when I watched this? I sure hope they weren't. Like you're thinking back, like, damn, I hope not.
Yeah.
So because I walk, you ever walk, you're walking the dog or something and it gets late.
Oh, yeah.
And then
somebody's got a football game on or something. Yeah.
You can see what everybody's watching on TV, and you're like, I need to close my curtains when I watch shows like Peacemaker. A group of anyway. Again, it's a good show. We can't wait to come back. Yeah, this is one where I'm looking forward to next week to come back and talk about how they wrap this up and what the future may hold. We haven't felt like that since really, I don't know. The last thing we watched that we liked was Skeleton Crew, and we just bemoaned the fact that nobody was watching Skeleton Crew every week.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew was so fun. I love Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, that show was so great. But it was such a downer to come on here every week and tell people, please watch the show.
They're gonna give us more Andor. Please stop.
Yeah, if you won't watch this. And then the snarky people in the comment, Andor is actually far superior. I like to watch people stare into the darkness for an hour. And it's like, no. So
they tried to tell us we weren't smart enough for the show, Dan. Do you remember that?
You just really don't. Hey, and I saw in the comments there were Alien Earth fans trying to tell people that they just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I'll be fine with not getting it.
That show was dumb as a box of hammers. It was not that we didn't get it. It was that, like, if you gave it meaning, you created that out of whole cloth. You pulled that out of your anus. There was nothing to be got.
Yeah.
And it's like, some people come, oh, you just don't get it. You're not smart enough. And it's like, you know what? I enjoyed a Minecraft movie. It's okay to like dumb things.
Yeah, it's like, look, man, I watched at least 5 movies about sharks and tornadoes and was completely entertained. Okay. And I was far more entertained by those movies than I ever will be by Alien Earth. So
agreed.
I don't,
and they're only half as dumb as Alien Earth.
That's right.
That's okay. Because we're telling you right now, it's okay to like dumb things, but at least know when you're liking a dumb thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
You just got to own it. Jason, where else can people find you on the internet?
Okay, I'm at Jason Galt 413 on Instagram. On X this weekend, because my beloved Chicago Cubs start their next series, and my beloved Mississippi State Bulldogs play on the same day. I'm going to be live tweeting through all the emotions that I'm going to be going through, which will probably be frustration and pain. That's at Explains Jason on X. So that's the 2 places they can find me.
You had to bring up baseball as me and Tim sit here about an hour north of Cincinnati.
Listen, my Cubbies.
Yeah, you saw what happened to our Red Legs last night, did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all ran into a buzzsaw, man. The Dodgers are good.
Yeah, we seem to run into a lot of buzzsaws here in Cincinnati, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. But anyway, I am Dan. That is Tim. We are the Nerd Champs, and you have found us. We're here. You found, and we're also on the Facebook.
This is
and
our
other
channel.
things. This is our channel. So you already found us. Subscribe, like, share, tell your friends, tell your enemies. They need to come watch. Join us next Thursday when we talk about the conclusion of Peacemaker. And until next week, Tim, OH.
I-O.
Hail State.